All right, y'all. So back here at Project Panthro, and for those of you who don't know, Panthro is my favorite Thundercat. The symbol for Mercury is a cougar, but the symbol looks an awful lot like the Thundercat symbol, and so I just think it's funny. I grew up watching 80s cartoons after school, right? So Thundercats, ho. Panthro was my favorite because he was a big buff dude and he was the mechanic. He always made things work, figured out what was wrong with them, and always gave good advice to Lion-O, their leader, right? So he was always my favorite. But anyway, Mercury Capri, it's a 1985 RS, and I realized in my first intro video I didn't really do a good job showing the condition it's in, so that's what this is about. I'm going to try to give a little bit better showing of the condition of the cars in at the start of my project. And so right away, first thing that I knew as soon as I got it, I was going to have to replace all the weather stripping. I've already replaced the hood latches, or the hatch supports, so that I didn't have to prop it up with a broomstick like I had to do in high school. A lot of the trim, just the seals are bad. It's old. These are 40-year cars now, right? So these Fox bodies. This is a sister car to a Mustang. My first two cars were Mercury Capris. I've always liked them. So as you can see, like the body's not in bad shape. It doesn't look like it's been in a wreck when I got it, but it has been used and used hard. So here's some of the interior panels that are just going to have to be replaced. It's missing the hatch cover, and that support bracket is trashed. I'm either going to have to buy new or refurbish, I guess, some of the plastic upholstery linings. So the wheel well, I mean, this is a bad place for water to collect and rust out, and this one's not really that bad. Looks like previous owner may have had some rodent renters, so definitely got to clean that up. That's gross. The upholstery all needs to be redone, new carpets, and I think as I said in the intro video, right, there's no headliner, so that's going to have to be redone. Some of the body gaps, like if you look at when the hatch is down, it's obviously hit here, chipped away. The glass is still good, the trim's good, but the seal's gone. So I'm gonna repaint the trim. Have to replace some of it. Obviously the car needs a total paint job, right? I'm not too worried about that right now. I'll do that down the road. I just need to stop it from getting any worse, really, right? So let's come up to the front. It looks like they bought and put on their own ground effects. I don't think it was done or ordered this way, or they replaced them. All right, missing a couple of, like a cover on the seat there. This seat structurally is not bad. Obviously it needs to be reupholstered, cleaned, worn through here, but definitely showing its age, right? The door panels are warped, as is common because the water leakage. It is a T-top, right? So all those seals are going to have, and the weather stripping is going to have to be replaced. T-tops are notorious for leaking, but I just love T-tops, so I'm going to deal with it. Do have a couple of extra door cards in the back, but Even those are warped from some water. There again, you can see how bad the carpet is. Obviously, plenty of leakage there over the years, either the windows or the T-tops. The floorboards, sorry, the floor pans under the seats, they're rusted, right? So it's another common thing with the Fox bodies. So I'm gonna have to redo those. Back seats actually don't look too bad. I don't know, I'll have to wait till I can pull them out and actually get to looking at them. Maybe I can get away with just cleaning these really good. I mean, steam clean. Maybe. We'll just have to wait and see until I pull out the interior and take a good look at it. My plan is to pull this dash out and redo the wiring harness and fix some of the common mistakes all at once while I got it all pulled out. Biggest thing, the heater core, right? Doesn't matter what car it is. These older cars seem like the heater cores go out, after 10 years. And if they do, they start leaking. So it's another water source, more rust. Obviously, the first thing a lot of people do, rip out the stock AM/FM radio and try to put in a replacement. So this dash has been cut. That's fine. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll put a cover bracket on it. It's going to be fine. Got a little crack in the console here. I'm not really worried about that. Like I said, I'm just trying to get a daily driver, something fun to drive, something easy to work on, and try to learn as I'm doing all this maintenance myself. So plans to do even the wiring harness myself. So we'll see how successful I am there. I'll come around to the other side. Let's see. You can see the molding here. That's going to have to be replaced because that will drive me nuts hanging out like that. It just looks horrible. Some of the things bother me and some don't. I don't know what it is. So some of the body gaps are still good for the most part. The hood needs realigned, I'll tell you that right now. And then as you can see, it needs a new windshield because of this massive crack that something hit it. But more molding needs to be either, I don't think replace this belt line. Definitely does not have to be replaced because it's part of the weather stripping. The doors need to be realigned so they open and close a little easier. The windows sag in the doors, so I have to get in there and replace the guides in the door. Another matte pocket shot, sagging cards, right? There is a little bit of rust on the doors, but it's not bad. I think I can clean that up and save it. And then, this is gonna be the fun part. Getting that dash out of there and trying to rewire stuff. Make sure it's cleaned up. Make sure there's no shorts. Make sure I don't have any electrical fires because of, again, 40-year-old wiring is going bad. And so you can see the car was not originally blue, right? Big surprise there. But they did paint the door jamb, so I'll give them that. They were thorough. And then quick look underneath. That's what I'm talking about on the floor pans. Obviously those need to be replaced. Brake lines and fuel lines are showing their age. That's the stock exhaust. I believe it's the original exhaust. So it is beyond its recommended age. Need to get that replaced. And then up in the front, as is so common, it's got some road rash from meeting parking lot bumpers. One of the headlight buckets is busted. You probably saw that in the back seat. So I've got to order a new one of those. The hood latch, for whatever reason, is out of alignment. I have to figure that out. And already put on new hood struts, because these hoods are heavy and that prop rod is not the most secure thing when you're working on a car. You don't want the hood falling on your head. Not 100% sure if this is the original motor. I think it is. I have to run the numbers still. Runs strong. Engine starts up right away. Carb's tuned really well. But as you can see, the wiring harness in here is a complete mess. As they spliced things in and out over the years, they just unraveled the wiring harness. And so that's driving me nuts. So I'll have to fix that. Obviously the heater core must have been leaking. They bypassed it. Took out the AC components because the AC compressor is conspicuous in its absence. Looks like they upgraded the distributor, put it on a bigger spark manager, and so they were interested in trying to go a little faster, get a little more horsepower out of this 5.0, but didn't do a real good job of the backyard maintenance. So that kind of stuff is just an eyesore, so I'm going to fix it. It's also a huge safety concern with the wiring harness being exposed like this. I'm going to clean all this up. As you can see, the master cylinder brake booster showing their age. For whatever reason, they painted the wiper motor hot pink, I guess, so you wouldn't bust your knuckles on it. I don't know. Original manifolds. They look like headers, but those are the original manifolds. The power steering is leaking like a sieve, so I'm going to have to replace that right away. And there's some rust over here where the battery tray is. That's another common place for these old cars to rust out, because water collects in that tray and on the fender, or a battery will leak and the acid will just eat away at the metal. It looks like they have already replaced the radiator. That does not look like the original, although it is showing some age already, and missing a shroud. So all that being said, I've got some work to do and plenty of practice in trying to develop my mechanical skills. So hopefully that's a little bit more thorough look at the car and the condition it's in and all the fun that I have waiting for me to get into. So yeah, let's see how I do figuring this stuff out. These are wheels. These are actually just wheels they gave me that came with the car. They gave me 2 sets of wheels. These and some chrome 10-hole. I forget the name of them. I'll look them up later. They're not Kragers, but they're just, you know, the flat inner wheels, and with holes drilled in them, right? But I like these a little better with the color that the car is. I had to buy the tires that I got were just dry rotted and cracking, wouldn't even hold air barely, and so I did buy some new tires. These are the cheapest tires I could find at the moment. Century tires. I like the tread pattern, like they look good. I don't know what the performance of it is, but I just needed something so I could move the car around as I'm working on it, in and out of the garage, get it up off the rims, right? So that's the basic solution. So anyway, there's my project over the next couple of coming months and years. So wish me luck, and we'll see how it goes. And then my wife's project car that I also have to work on, 1955 Ford custom line Tudor. More to follow on that one as I'm working on Project Panthro. See y'all.